Bioprotocol, the undisputed leader in decentralized science, just launched V2 with BioXP. In today's video, I'm going to go over what BioXP is, how to earn as much as possible, and the updates with Bio V2. Now, I was initially going to wait a day or two before making this video. However, when I saw this post from the official Solana account, I knew I did not have time to wait. I needed to get in front of the camera and record this as quickly as possible because we have big players backing decentralized science yet again. Another case where we get that positive affirmation that we are on the right track here with decentralized science. We're also seeing Phantom, the official Phantom account, saying DeSci summer. So it is happening. Get ready. I hope you guys are prepared. We're going to get straight into this. If you guys have not been paying attention to Bio or the entire DeSci movement, then this is going to be a really good video for you guys to watch in its entirety. So, Bio V2, ignition sales, BioXP, and staking. The TLDR, ignition sales, which is Bio V2, introduces a low cap, high velocity raises for new bio agents, IP tokens, and bio DAOs. So Bioprotocol, I'm wearing their shirt right now. They are an ecosystem builder within decentralized science. So many of the DeSci DAOs that you see launching in the space come from Bioprotocol. The list is way more expansive than it ever has been. And over the last 3 years of covering decentralized science, you and I have witnessed them launching dozens of DAOs and seen these DAOs come out with different IP tokens, which is exactly what it sounds like. They take an intangible or a goodwill asset that is natively digital or just not physical, and they tokenize it. So it is real world assets tokenized on chain, and then they split that NFT into 1 billion tokens, and you can own and trade the intellectual property behind drug therapies and such like that. Then we also get to see right here, literally in the first line, new bio agents. So Bio, which has been talking about using the ELIZA framework to come up with 1 million bio AI agents, is now starting that pre-sale process. It looks like they will be launching bio agents that you can actually get a piece of with a high velocity raise. Next up, we have the BioXP, which in my opinion is a genius move from Bioprotocol because it is getting into the InfoFi part of crypto that everyone has been getting into with things like Kaito, where you can earn points. We talk a lot about creator bid and virtuals, and honestly, this is a huge step to gain the acceptance of crypto, which I'm a big fan of. So earn points for staking, ecosystem participation, and social engagement. Points determine access to ignition sales. So the more points you have, the better odds you have of getting in on some of these low cap raises, which we'll talk about in a few moments. But some of these raises look like they're going to be at sub $500,000 market caps, which is crazy. Staking bio and ecosystem tokens. You can stake bio and ecosystem tokens, i.e. the bio agents, the bio DAOs, and the IP tokens to earn bio XP. And one thing that you all should be super excited for is the retroactive BioXP, because we have been paying attention to Bio since a year before they even launched the token. We've been patiently waiting for this type of activity. We've been involved in the ecosystem from before day one, literally the entire time. So the retroactive BioXP is going to be really cool for all of you guys to reward those who have been supporting Bio and DeSci for a while. A one-time retroactive distribution of BioXP is awarded to past contributors. You can start staking on Bio and earning BioXP to qualify for allocations in the first Bio agent sale launching in August, so this month. And this is all happening at a perfect time because we are seeing all of crypto, despite that last little dip that we just got, we are still skyrocketing. This is Ethereum right now up at $3,700. So things are moving pretty gorgeously right now. So you can start earning BioXP right now on their website. You can come on over, click that link, and I'll put all of the links to everything in the description of the video so that you guys can just go down and check them out and click them. But you can go over to the dashboard and click on Earn BioXP, log into your account, and go ahead and claim whatever XP you have to claim. They're doing distributions every day here, it looks like, of some of this BioXP, so go get as much as you can. There's 2 different types, but why don't we go ahead and read through the entire intro before we really get into it and show you the website in more detail. So traction over hype, number 1. True scientific acceleration happens when biotech, AI, and crypto converge. The BioACC Trinity, fueling decentralized networks that compress drug development from decades to months. The first version of BioProtocol enabled large, one-time fundraising events for ambitious science right out of the gate. It enabled real progress, and we're grateful to the builders and backers who have jumped in. However, this approach came with trade-offs. Projects often hit the market at higher valuations, which can make it harder for early supporters to get meaningful access without the entry point feeling steep. You guys have all seen that point blank. It happened, not to shame them, but it happened explicitly with Bio. If you were not paying attention to the raise that they were doing, which we were, and so we got into this raise at like 3 cents and 5 cents or something like that, much lower than where it actually went live, the Bio token. So anyone who did not know of it and didn't have kind of that early access to information ended up seeing it launch at like a couple $1 billion market cap and then just bleed down to find a normal value that it was going to hover around at, which is what it looks like it's doing right now. It's very much so hovering around, especially with these catalysts that are coming out. I don't think the price is going to stay here for too long because we saw we saw Coinbase list Research Coin and Bio, and now we're getting Bio V2 with the agent sales and everything. So things are heating up pretty aggressively for this $114 million market cap coin. But motivated by these insights, Bio V2 introduces a new model designed for smaller experimental launches that lower the barrier of entry, reward traction over hype, and give users new ways to earn through positive sum activities in the bio ecosystem. So smaller ongoing funding. Funding shifts from large one-off sales to smaller incremental raises that grow with community traction and scientific progress. Kind of like you would see in a normal VC world, right? Crypto is just kind of a mini VC world without all of the gatekeeping. And so you get a lot of different series of raises. So it makes sense to issue something like this instead of just one giant raise. Stronger community ties. Sale allocations require BioXP, aligning token distribution with active ecosystem contribution. So the most active people are going to be the ones who benefit from these raises instead of just people trying to farm and make a quick flip on science. Automation with agentic AI, integration of AI-driven agents, bioagents, lower overhead and create automated research loops. So the agents are literally going to be conducting research or at least coming up with theses. And long-term alignment, encourage holding and participating through rewards, points, staking yields, governance power, and disincentivizes short-term flipping. That way, right now it's just mostly governance power, and that's cool if you're really passionate about the science and about having your voice heard, but you need to expand it into more. And we knew they would over time, but for the time being, it was just governance power. No longer is that the case. Bio V2 aims to increase velocity and sustainability, enabling rapid launches with minimal initial capital, while providing agentic infrastructure for projects to accelerate science and continuously fund themselves through market activity. The end goal is a thriving on-chain biotech ecosystem where incentives between researchers, token holders, and the broader bio community are tightly aligned. Here's how the shift to Bio V2 will roll out in the coming weeks and months. So this is the roadmap ongoing. They have July, the BioXP goes live right at the end of July. They have the beginning of August, which is where we are right now, where they start retroactively giving out some of the BioXP. We also get the launch pad on Base. So all of this is happening initially on Base, and it will eventually roll out to Solana and Ethereum because that's where the Bio token lives, is on Base, Solana, and Ethereum. But they're starting it with Base, likely because that is where most of the real builders are in the space. And then it looks like right around the same time, so any day now, potentially this week or next week, I don't know exactly when, but the first bio agent sale of Aubria, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Aubrey AI is going to be going live. So I would stay tuned and make sure that you guys go engage and claim your XP. And then a continuous rollout of bio agents, IP tokens, and bio DAOs. And you guys know I own every single bio IP token that exists. I used to own every single bio DAO, but I traded all of those in for the pre-sale of the bio token. So I am extremely invested into this ecosystem, and I'm very excited to see how everything continues to roll out. So August 1st, Retroactive BioXP is claimable. August, I just went over all of this, but the continuous rollout over August and September, and then September Plus is the expansion of Solana and Ethereum mainnet. The initial development or the initial deployment of Bio V2 will be on Base, with Ethereum and Solana deployments launching soon, meaning users will need to bridge their bio to Base or acquire bio on Base in order to participate in the new system. Now, here are some of the Bio V2 details. Number 1. We have the ignition sale. Bio Protocol introduces ignition sale denominated in bio for new bio agents, bio DAOs, and IP tokens. The key launch mechanism is that they will start with a low market cap. Initial bio agent will launch and raise $77,000 in bio for 33.7% of the initial supply. That is a steep amount going to the raise at an incredibly low valuation if you really think about it. $200,000 FDV for the first bio AI agent is incredibly low, incredibly low. So hopefully that means that we can see an impressive chart instead of the other way around, right? We often joke with the pop, drop, and lock it charts where this DeSci project will launch, the token will get sniped, it will go crazy high up, people will buy in, like regular people like you and I will buy in, it will tank, and then it will find its floor. Hopefully this happens more in an organic way where it will launch and then move after people have gotten in, not before. Fixed price. Each sale sets a predetermined token price and a modest raise cap. I'm sure a lot of you guys will appreciate that better than the dynamic raise price that Bio uses at the current moment. All participants who secure an allocation pay the same price per token. BioXP plus Bio pledging. So participants pledge BioXP and Bio tokens to VIE. I don't know what that is, but for an allocation in the sale, to get an allocation in the sale. If the raise goal isn't met within its duration, typically 2 to 3 days, BioXP and Bio are returned to the users. The share of points you contribute relative to all participant points determines the fraction of the sale you're allocated up to the per user cap. So the more points you have, the higher of a share you get in all of it. Individual allocation cap. To ensure broad participation, each user is limited to purchasing at most 0.5% of the total token supply in the sale. I imagine that's per wallet, but it's probably going to be pretty hard to gain enough BioXP per wallet to really get that 0.5%. And that's a really good cap, honestly. You don't want whales walking around with multiple percents of supply, or at least you don't want it to be easy to do it. The liquidity engine, 100% of the raised funds, the Bio token, seed the project's liquidity pool paired with 12.5% of the total supply of the token. Traders incur a 1% fee, 70% of the project for research funding, 30% to Bio Protocol for initial bio agent launches. The token can list on the AMM at an implied FDV of 615,000, so 3 times the FDV of the initial sale. So if it reaches past the bonding curve, you get a 3x on it, which is pretty beautiful. Although now that I said it, I don't actually see anything that says bonding curve here, but the AMM. Simple allocation. Projects may use a template or a sample allocation. Project may use a template or adjust as needed. So it looks like most of them at first will probably just use the template, but then as people get a little bit more exploratory with it, they're probably going to see some different tokenomics coming out. I think I would have enjoyed if it was just one standardized tokenomics, but I understand that you have to adjust with the conditions of the market. So right now it might make sense to do it like this. In 3 months when the market is incredibly hot, it might make sense to raise some of it, lower the percent of allocation, blah, blah, blah. In 2 years, if the market's gone through a bear market, it might make sense to really just temper that down. So I guess it makes sense that you can do it dynamically, but personally, I just like consistency with one thing, so I don't have to consistently watch. I can just know what it's going to be. BioXP. Number 2, points-based engagement layer. So BioXP, the bio experiment points, I love it, and that's kind of funny. is a new reward system introduced in BioProtocol v2. It is not a transferable token, but rather a reputation/loyalty point that is earned through positive sum activities in the bio ecosystem. We all should be familiar with this type of activities. Ignition sales are designed to be capped at relatively low valuations. Earn points by, I feel like that sentence was out of place, but earn points by staking bio or ecosystem tokens, IP tokens, bioagents, or BioDAO tokens. Participate in governance, yapping on social media, including engagement with or content about BioProtocol, any project in our network. I'm doing my part here by making this video, but we've seen the biggest explosion across X with this type of activity. So honestly, this is going to be a really, really exciting moment to get bio and to get all of the accounts talking about bio. All those yappers, all those yap farmers are going to now be pushing DeSci. This is big. I'm curious because I don't see bio partnering with Kaito, and I would have assumed that they would have, but perhaps they made their own model to calculate the engagement. It's not that difficult of a thing, but yeah, I figured it just would have been easier to partner with Kaito, but here we go. Participating in new launches is the fourth way to earn BioXP. Using BioXP in launches to participate in a project's ignition sale, users must pledge BioXP points and commit bio tokens. Any unused bio or BioXP are returned to you. So it looks like you're going to actually be using that XP the entire time. So it's not just a one-time set it and forget it. You got to actually pledge that XP or the bio tokens to the raise, and the bio tokens to the raise. You are incentivized to hold if a user receives an allocation of an ignition sale and sells those tokens within the first 2 weeks of trading. The user's ability to earn BioXP is paused for the next 21 days. This doesn't remove your existing points, but it means you can't earn points during the paused period. Point expiration. Unused points expire after 14 days to keep the system dynamic. Note, Retroactive BioXP will only begin to expire 1 month after the first launch. Note, retroactive points, explained below, will only begin to expire 1 month after the first launch. Okay, so the points can expire. That is a key point here, pun intended, that you need to pay attention to, is that these retroactive points that we're going to be getting for being early believers will expire if you don't use them. So this first launch that they're going to do is probably going to be a banger as everyone tries to just use the points rather than lose them. To reward those who have been supporting Bio and DeSci for a while, so now we're on to Retroactive BioXP. So most of you guys are probably going to want to pay close attention here. A one-time retroactive distribution of BioXP is awarded to past contributors. 50% of the initial BioXP pool is rewarded retroactively across the following criterias. Early auction participants, 50% of the retro pool. So 25% of the initial BioXP altogether is going to early auction participants. Everyone who participated in Bio V1 auctions with Quantum BioDAO, Long COVID, Curetopia, Myco, and Spine DAO. Higher participation correlates with more points. So the more money you put into those, the more points you're going to get. Curators, 20% goes to users who actively curated BioDAOs in Bio V1. That's pretty cool. So a lot of the active participants are going to get it in the first section, but then a lot of the devs, a lot of the people putting together these BioDAOs are getting it part of this 20%. And then the Genesis airdrop, so 10% of the pool is going to active DeSci users who were eligible for the original BioGenesis airdrop in April of 2024, so over a year ago. That's mostly us. BioGenesis auction participants, 20%, addresses the took part in the first BioGenesis pre-sale, addresses that took part in the first BioGenesis pre-sale in 2024. So again, part of us. So number 3, and then we're almost through it. Don't worry, guys. Then we'll get into some of my final thoughts here, and we're going to watch the video here from Solana. But number 3, staking bio and ecosystem tokens. So staking is a cornerstone of BioProtocol v2, serving 2 purposes: governance power and BioXP generation. Bio v2 introduces 2 staking systems. Staking bio to get VE bio, inspired by Curve's VE token model. Users can stake bio to earn BioXP and receive VE bio. vote escrowed bio, which confers governance power to V2 in V2 if there is sufficient adoption. And then they have the ecosystem token staking. So users can also stake bio ecosystem projects, the agents, the DAOs, and the IP tokens as a secondary way to earn BioXP. How to stake and earn BioXP? You just go right to their website, you log in, you go to your portfolio, and you can come through here and buy or stake any of the tokens that are available right here natively in the portfolio part of their website, which again, I will link it all in the description, and then you can just see all of your XP accruing here. You can also just go click on these stake buttons and figure out ways to stake based off of just exploring the website a little bit. It's not gonna be that hard, guys. All right, so the lock duration for staking bio. Users can lock bio for 2 weeks up or 2 years. Users can lock bio from 2 weeks to 2 years. Longer locks give more VBio and greater potential to earn BioXP. No early exit. Bio staked for VBio cannot be unlocked early, so that's a key thing to remember. Auto max renewal keeps your VBio balance constant by automatically relocking your position for protocol's maximum period at every renewal. My God. This ensures your voting power and rewards remain maximized. I hope that's a feature that you can turn on or off. If that just automatically does it, that would be crazy. Imagine you lock it up for 2 years, you forget about it, and you just are automatically relocked after that 2-year period. I mean, maybe it would be good. It'd probably be good if they continue to expand and grow, which they probably are. Governance power. Once VBio gains sufficient adoption, a governance vote can take place to change the protocol's governance tokens from VBio and Bio to VeBio if approved. One VeBio would equal 1 vote in DAO proposals, meaning long-term stakers can get more say in decisions. So at the current time of recording, the staked bio will not have an impact on your governance power. You will not be able to vote with that staked bio. But if you recognize any of this, you can see there are different types of bio. So they have bio, just regular bio. They have VBio, which is your vested bio if you took part in the pre-sales. And then you have VeBio, which is your staked bio. All right, big decisions here. Big decisions. All right, staking ecosystem tokens. Users can stake bio ecosystem tokens and earn BioXP. No fixed lock, 14-day cooldown for withdrawing them, and you can earn BioXP pro rata to your stake size. So that is much more liquid, if you will, than actually staking your bio. So I imagine a lot of people will be doing that. And it's looking good, guys. It's looking really good. So this is a really big update, and I honestly encourage you guys to go experiment around with things, find the DAOs that make the most sense to you, and get involved in the community as best you can. I am now going to put my headphones on to watch this video from Solana with you guys. It is 2 minutes long, and it's bullish.
Call it the Valley of Death, the gap between brilliant scientific ideas and real-world impact. It's where promising research dies because of broken funding, central control, and endless gatekeeping. But by merging science with blockchain, we might finally have a way to put the Valley of Death to rest. Global biomedical R&D spending tops $2 trillion a year, but most of that flows through governments or big pharma. Academic publishing is a multi-billion-dollar business, yet only 5 publishers control access to over half of all scientific output, and even the most credible results often can't be reproduced. For decades, new ways for open science have been discussed, but with blockchain, we may have the tools to finally make it real. DeSci, short for Decentralized Science, is a new model. By combining biotechnology with permissionless markets, it turns science into a global open source protocol. Anyone can fund research. Intellectual property rights are tokenized and tradable, and every method, every result is verifiable via public blockchains like Solana. And this isn't theoretical, it's already happening. Applications like BioProtocol let anyone, fellow scientists, crypto users, or institutions pull capital and vote on what scientific research gets funded. For example, just this year, Curetopia, the first BioDAO on Solana, raised $1.77 million from over 1,000 backers to fund rare disease research. Overall, 12 BioDAOs have been launched and funded so far, with over $24 million raised for scientific research. Likewise, projects like Molecule are minting intellectual property as IP NFTs, which can be fractionalized, licensed, and governed with royalties baked in. In 2024 alone, Molecule launched 26 on-chain IP assets. These tokens give holders the opportunity to participate directly in the development, decision-making, and future directions of research. Finally, Pump.Science recently launched on Solana, an on-chain prediction market where anyone can launch longevity experiments and trade based on real-time experimental data. All trading fees then go toward funding that longevity research. If crypto redefined finance, DeSci is redefining discovery, and the Solana blockchain is quickly becoming the back end for that breakthrough. If this works, if we get it right, it could rewrite how humanity builds knowledge. Follow Solana to see where DeSci is heading next.
Incredibly bullish, guys. Incredibly bullish. Shout out also Ethan from Curetopia, getting that shout out for being the first BioDAO to launch on Solana, and Pump Science for getting a say in what's going on, the reshaping of DeSci on Solana. Solana seemingly wants to really be involved in DeSci. You heard them there at the end say, hey, if you want more news on DeSci, follow Solana. That's really bullish, guys. And we got Phantom down here saying DeSci Summer. So huge shout out to everyone who has been making this happen. Honestly, a lot of stuff had to go on behind the scenes in order for this to actually take place. I just noticed I wasn't following Phantom, and so if you've made it this far in the video and you also notice that you're not following me, you should follow me. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube to talk about decentralized science and keep you guys updated on everything that's going on. This kind of activity, while it takes a while for DeSci to play out, you need to be paying attention to it because this is truly where a lot of the real world value is going to be coming from crypto and Web3. DeFi is cool, but it's really just moving the financial industry on chain to add a little bit of transparency to it and permissionlessness to it, which is super needed, but it's not changing anything. Decentralized science is actively changing how we conduct research and development in academia. If you listened closely, you heard them say how much money was flowing through the academics stage here. Look right here. In biopharma and everything. Total R&D landscape, right? It is growing rapidly and it makes up, we already know that research and development in the United States alone makes up like 20% of the total GDP. Decentralized science is cutting down the time that it takes to take an idea and give it to market, give it the funding to go to market and pass all of the testing and go through all experimentation phases. Even just Pump Science alone is going to cut that time down dramatically by getting rid of, or not rid of, but passing through the worm studies, the fly studies, and the mice studies, getting those animal tests out of the way much quicker than traditional science would, traditional academia. And it allows for true decentralization to take place, right? Citizens, you and I can go launch an experiment on Pump Science right now and actually go see it through till the end and potentially try and create a full company around it, a full biotech, in order to get that compound or that mixture of compounds to market in a form of a supplement, or who knows? Honestly, who knows? It is so early, things are so brand new that the industry really doesn't have a full completed blueprint yet. But bio is the furthest along in this. Bio protocol is the closest to completing that flywheel in decentralized science, and I could not be more excited to see it all the way through. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. This is huge. This is huge. And this has been a bit of a longer video here. I think it's going on 30 minutes, so I will wind it down now. But if you guys are not paying attention, if you guys are not ready for what's happening, you guys are going to be shocked at how many eyes are on the space in the coming months, and especially in the coming years. When we see a crypto-funded drug development go all the way from idea to hitting the market and actually getting on chain and pushing it forward so that people can actually use whatever drug therapy it is. Like, think about how popular Ozempic just became, right? It's a random drug that just is helping people. It's one drug in a giant class of drugs, and it's helping people lose weight, and it's really cool. Imagine when they actually do find the cure to death. and I know I'm speaking a little bit far out there on the curve, so maybe I should use a different example, but go look at one of VitaDAO's IP tokens with like VitaFast or whatever, where they've come up with a compound that is actually stopping nonsense mutations and helping with longevity, right? Whatever company finds a supplement or a drug therapy that actually extends human lifespan by a measurable amount is going to break global news. And there's a good chance that comes from a crypto-based project. And there's a good chance it's going to be in the bio ecosystem. So your time's your most valuable asset. Hopefully you found this worth investing it into. I appreciate you guys being here with me. And I'll keep y'all posted. I'll keep everyone posted on what's happening in the space of DeSci. Peace.